Hello, everyone. I'm Mary Kyriakidi, Global Thought Leader at Kantar, and I'm joined here today by two stellar colleagues of mine, Ina Ivanova and Mauro Fusco. Mauro and Ina, you've recently written an article about marketing effectiveness, which is a topic that we have been debating for as long as I can remember. Now, please tell me, why is it so hard to get to the bottom of marketing effectiveness? Isn't it simply a bunch of killer metrics that every marketer should be measuring? Mauro, would you like to start?
Yes, of course. It's not only a bunch of metrics, and of course, I think that is the millions of dollars questions. Um, I what we understand from marketing measurement is that we need to understand how to do more with the budget that we have, being under pressure or not. We're always searching for doing the best. Of course, that measures and metrics are essential to whatever we do, but it's also very essential that we measure these in a holistic manner. We understand all of the effects and factors that impact our sales, that impact our brand, and that is core to everyone's businesses.
Maybe just to add to that, of course, as you said, this topic has been investigated, written about, discussed about for, well, probably 20 years now. However, what we did find out with our more than 30 interviews of senior professionals across the industry is that there's a clear consensus on the advantages and disadvantages of most of the methods being used at the moment. And that gave an insight into why there is more room for MMM type of work to come on stage and rekindle its power, so to say. And we can tell you a little bit more about it, of course, in a second.
Mm-hmm. So, in your article, you made reference to digital measurement, and it's there in abundance, and it's instant too. And it's been doing a good job, I would say, in helping marketers prove that they've been using their company's funds wisely. But you say in your article it's no good. Why is that? Maro, would you like to tell me?
Sure, it's not exactly that it's not good. It's just not enough. Digital
Mm,
measures and digital metrics are concrete, are easier to measure because they are closer to the sales. So they are more or strongly correlated to sales. So it seems that everything makes sense in the digital world. You have all the metrics at hand, but that's not enough because it doesn't take into account the other factors, the environmental factors that impact your business. So, in order to understand how consumers are behaving, is not only about exploring their last few clicks, but also understanding where they come from. What are their elements? What are the touch points
mm,
that they've been in touch to? Of course, that digital media has been gathering 60, sometimes 65% of media budgets everywhere. So it's the biggest part of any company's budget. But what about the other touch points?
mm,
And are all of these ease to measure driving decisions about efficiency? I'd say that 65% of the budgets don't drive 65% of the returns. So this is leading marketing planners to a huge mistake in terms of being more effective because they're concentrating into something just because it's better to measure, easier to measure, but not necessarily measure to generate brand building, not generate sales at the end of the day. And when you measure only a part of the things, you are measuring partially. So that induces to partiality, that induces to incompleteness. So if you are incomplete in your measurement, you normally assume that some coincidences are patterns. You take coincidence as patterns, and that is a big, big risk for any kind of marketer. And of course, all the marketers finally are being skewed towards digital and lower funnel metrics because they are the closest ones to sales. So if they are skewed to that respect, so many times they forget about the importance of a strong brand that drives preference, that drives awareness, that drives equity, that drives superiority and premium. So all of these elements are not driven and built in the lower funnel. They are built in
mm.
the upper funnel levels.
And maybe
Yes.
maybe to build up on that, what of course we heard on multiple occasions throughout this process of interviewing different people is that regardless of what type of measurement they have in place in their company at the moment, what most of them did agree with is that brand building and its proper measurement should be an integral part of marketing measurement and optimization. Along with that, all possible factors that play a role in this game, so to say, promotions, creative quality, all the different types of macroeconomical factors, everything that can play even a single role in the decision-making process of the consumer should be part of our mathematical equation. Otherwise, we're just really looking at the trees and focusing on those, but we don't see the whole forest. And it's quite a risky matter if we only partially look at half the picture, because imagine all the millions of euros that are spent by advertisers, even sometimes on a quarterly basis, not even on a yearly basis. So that's why it's very, very important. And as I said, even though some of the people we've interviewed didn't have the chance yet, or the maturity of the company was not there yet to implement the whole full, complete measurement, they all agreed that this is the way to go, and that's where this journey is taking us.
Right, right. And you brilliantly brought in the title of your article there, Seeing the Forest Through the Trees. Thank you. You mentioned before, Ina, that marketing mix modeling is popular again, and we hear it from clients too. They say that they're using a combo of marketing mix modeling, so econometrics, and they're using that with their own brand tracker findings, and this helps them prove that their budget is indispensable. Now, they say to us that if they can demonstrate that they're shifting the key metrics that are linked to driving their sales, both in the short and the long term, this is how they can make their case convincingly. Is this, in your view, why marketing mix modeling has, as you said, a rekindled power in our industry?
Yes, indeed. Nowadays, with all the, first of all, huge changes in media consumption. I mean, even if you look simply at the fact that TV was the mass medium a couple of years ago, and now things are shifting. There's new media channels. People consume media, you and I, and each one out there is doing different things than 5 or 10 years ago. So in order to build that up properly, we need to look at both the short-term and the long-term impact of all our activations, because the decision-making process, in my mind as a consumer, is not a scattered thing, right? It's something that is complete. And if we are not measuring at all, then we're not measuring properly. So that is why, of course, before the interviews, we had our hypothesis, etc., and all the validated counter frameworks. But what we did find out is that companies that even work with, do market mix modeling type of work in-house, or with their agency, or with other providers, some with us, they all agree on the same thing, that this holistic measurement should be there for it to really bring the business forward as a whole. Of course, we also found out that there are multiple obstacles on the way. It's easier said than done. There are siloed departments. There are political situations in most of the companies. Just in general, from our network, we can definitely confirm that. But maybe one thing what would be interesting to highlight here, maybe Mauro, you can tune in here with me now, is to talk about not only holistic, that seems to be the status quo of how things should be done right now, but the more frequent cadence of doing MMM or any type of marketing measurement optimization work. What do you think?
Yeah, you know that continuous measurement is something which has become essential to marketing effectiveness improvement. And if you just run marketing mix model, understanding that this is a very frequent misconception that marketing mix model is a one-off exercise, a strategic tool that cannot help you in the more tactical decisions, and that's a huge mistake as well. And so you need to keep it continuously measured, continuously refreshed, so the model can learn the new elements that impact the market, that impact the dynamics, that impact the new consumers' decisions and the new patterns of media consumption. So all of these has to be taken because being the market dynamics, it's going to evolve. And whatever the model that you build, for the perfect it is, it's going to take off from the reality after a few months. So you need to refresh it. Normally, companies don't refresh it because it's very hard for you to build an entire model, right? So I have to collect data and so on. But new computational resources, automation can make it very much more feasible nowadays.
Thank you both, Ina and Mauro, for this insightful and honest chat. I learned a lot, and it's an excellent piece. And I can say that because I read it. Very well done.